We need to fill up this whiteboard with, remember my principle, which was like constructing your reasons? What we want to do is like come up with every single reason.
Yep.
So draw a little stick figure in the middle of the page. Now, underneath it, I just want you to write age, location, and like 2 or 3 descriptors. So the average age range of your ideal customer. Average. 35 to 60. Cool, that's the average range. Like 60% of your members sit around there. Buyers.
Yeah.
Yep, cool. Now, underneath that, just the location, so the service area. Now, I want you to write 2 to 3 descriptors. Now, what I mean by descriptor. So previously with Facebook ads, because you're going to be running Facebook and Instagram ads, not Google search ads. Previously with Facebook ads, you used to be able to do like really, really niche interests. Now it's mostly automated. So the interest targeting is more of an indicator and treated as a suggestion to Meta. The content is really what does the targeting. So what we're going to write on the sides of this, but just write 2 to 3 descriptors. So like they're going to be a business owner. Yeah, underneath it. Yeah. Anything else?
I would say they've been in the business for a while, so they have authority. They're like an industry leader.
So they're like an established business.
Yeah.
Yep. Anything else? Don't need to hit a third, but like if does anything else come to mind?
They're a leader in the industry.
Yeah, cool. I think we've hit that down.
Industry leader?
Yeah, sure. I want you to draw an arrow to the right, all the way to just to the right of like with the age. Yep. Just to the right, and then one to the left, and then I want one that goes from the left over his head to the right. Now, humans are all like mice. I make this joke in the workshop all the time. They've got like bits of cheese they're chasing after and cats they're running away from as well. So you've got pleasure and pain. So on the right, just write towards. So we're going to have towards motivators. So what are they moving towards and trying to achieve through using your service? And then away from on the left. So what are they running away from or trying to avoid? Past, present, or future. And then they've also had things they've tried in the past to get from A to B. So on the top arrow, just write like previous attempts, the top one, the one that goes over his head, like previous attempts. So they've tried stuff in the past. It was like annoying, frustrating, or didn't work with them. So with the towards motivators, what I want you to do is just write them down and talk us through what are the things that they're moving towards through using a service. Just the first like 3 that come to mind.
So camera confidence.
Yep.
They want to make organic content, but they're not confident in front of camera. System to create. They want a system to create their organic content because they get lost. They don't know what to do. And finally, they want to move towards more organic leads.
Now, those first 3 you've come up with, they're good indicators of like directions to go in. What we want to do is unpack them layers deeper. So remember what I was talking about before, the constructing your arguments. We want like multiple different premises. We want a solid set of reasons why someone should do something. 3 reasons isn't sufficient. Just camera confidence in and of itself, systems to create, like they won't make the psychological resistance jump to what that will happen. So the way that you unpack these is you ask 2 very important questions. You ask the questions either, and maybe just write them underneath it. You ask why. So that's the first question to unpack it, or you ask the question, then what happens? So if I do this, then what happens next? So why do they want camera confidence?
They want camera confidence because they want to be able to showcase what they do to the target audience they're trying to attract.
Cool, and then what happens?
And then when that happens, as soon as they put it out, they'll be able to be discovered by a said audience. Then that will create engagement, which will then create conversation, which will then bring those curious people to then potentially become customers.
Yeah, cool. So start writing that underneath camera confidence. And the way you want to do this as well is don't try and logic your way around this. So you want what Malik would refer to as free association. Okay. We just want to dump down ideas. Don't think, oh, is this thing down here? Just whatever's in your head, just dump it down and just talk us through it.
So what am I writing?
Just the answers to why or then what. Go in any direction. Don't feel like it needs to be logically sorted.
So just for camera confidence?
Yeah, just for camera confidence for now, and just unpack it. You just write around it. So it should be messy.
Once you have camera confidence, it'll be more content output, more interest generated, and once that happens, more potential customers, I guess, spoken to.
Yeah, sweet. So you can see we started with camera confidence, which is nice and will resonate with a certain audience. But now we've unpacked like 3 more reasons. And arguably the third one that you've come up with is significantly more impactful or convincing than just I want to be like confident on camera.
Yeah.
Right. Can you talk about camera confidence and like why okay, here's another way you can think about these as well. If you can write down specific situations that they've found themselves in. So you filmed an ad about this where like the opening hook is like,
Most Perth-based business owners are not creating content and they know they should.
where like people are nervous on camera. So could you like just you don't have to write down, but can you just describe a situation someone would find themselves in when they lack camera confidence?
You're about to start making content for your business, but you're stuttering. You don't know what to say and you absolutely just freeze.
Mm-hmm.
So nothing gets done and nothing happens.
Yeah, exactly. So just write down that as a summary, right? Like stuttering on camera when you hit record. Just write it around. Doesn't need to be like tidy. Now, this is an example of free association. That stuttering on camera would actually be an away from motivators, but we'll circle back to that later. All we're trying to do now is just have a framework that we can get ideas out. Don't worry too much about is my answer right or wrong. We're trying to get ideas out. Because what we're going to do at the end of this is we're going to be able to look at all this and have like 50 fucking ad ideas.
Nice.
So let's do system to create now. So I'll let you talk through this process using the why or the then what.
Okay, so system to create. Why do you need a system to create? You need to be able to know the very first step you need to do when creating that first piece of content for your business. Now, when you don't have a system to create, generally what happens is, where do you even begin? You need to know what to say. You then need to know how to say it and why you need to say it in a way for your customers to feel like you're reading their minds. They feel like you understand them. But without this system to begin with, you don't know where to start. So I guess that would be the first dot point. You don't know where to start.
Yep.
And then from there, then what, when you do have a system to create, you'll be able to start frictionlessly going through the pipeline to go, oh, yep, this is the first step I need to take, and you can batch that. And then the next step, next step, next step. And then all of a sudden you have an overwhelming amount of content you can post, and that's it. The system creates the abundance of content to put out.
Cool.
And then what happens from there? Then you start getting the data, which then tells you what works. And then when you see what works, you'll understand why it works to then make that better content later. So you go from quantity that the system helps you build to then the quality, which is the system then upgrades you to.
Yeah, cool. So write down some of those points. So there were a few things there. One was like getting an abundance of content because now it's frictionless. And then what happened after that was, well, now we can make decisions based off of numbers, not feelings. And it kind of conveniently linked to your third point, which is more organic leads. One more thing you can put there under the system to create is often when people are new to something, there's like what they know, which is not much. What they know that they don't know, which they feel like is a lot, but then there's what they don't know that they don't know. So there's this kind of like naivety to the whole thing, and they just don't know it, and it's just this, they had this like avoidant relationship with it. But we can circle back to that. But let's go to the next one. So like more organic leads. So if
no dot point yet?
What do you feel there's anything you want to put there?
Oh, I thought that you were about to say.
No, I was just dancing around it. But let's go more organic leads. So if we have more organic leads, like the obvious one is we could spend less on ads.
Yep.
Right? So if we spend less on ads, what happens to the P&L statement specifically?
More profit.
Exactly, right? So I'd chuck that in there. You can even get into like niche specific examples. Like if they're currently relying on an agency, well, they can cut that retainer down. What else? I'll let you on.
So let's spend on
ads and agencies and
creative retainers that don't work. For the organic leads, when you get more organic leads, that means you've A/B tested for free. If you have time, which you should, to create organic content at scale, then you'll be able to have an abundance of data. And that will then eventually get better and better and better to then go, oh, that customer came from that specific video that I made organically after testing it for a while. I should now make more of that specific content. which means that you spent less money on ads, but then because one video performed well organically, you know exactly which video to repurpose as an ad. So not only do you get more organic leads, you get more ad leads because the creator has been tested organically to the human as that.
Another thing as well, more trust.
Yeah.
So your ads will actually improve as well. So like a lot of people, when like they see our ad, they'll like doom scroll through my Instagram to see if I'm legit or not.
Yes. So that is the other ad improvement, more trust. The more trust is also validity.
Yep.
From ads funnel.
Yep.
And then finally, I would also say the organic leads come from other sources. So, and this is one of my biggest points, AI search optimized, because more and more people use less Google and more AI bots like Claude, Gemini, ChatGPT to go, who is the best in my city for this? And it'll come up with a list, and that AI scrapes organic content.
Now, looking at everything that you've written down, are there any other thoughts that come to mind? And you want to think of this through the lens of, if I had to construct a debate and have a list of reasons, like stuff that's going through their head, is there anything else that comes to mind?
You're building an internal marketing system. It adds value to the business.
Yep.
And not by saying adds value because it brings more leads and all of that. The business is more valuable
so
at an evaluation level because
you can say it's an asset.
Yeah, it's a.
But now we own this list.
Yeah, asset, and that there is super important because if you hire an agency, if they leave or you fire them, all of that data is gone.
Turn off,
and it's gone. If you have an organic marketing funnel or system with someone external, if they leave or you fire them, all of that data, all of that system, it goes with them. If you build it internally, you can get external contractors or freelancers to go into your funnel to do what you need them to do through their own way. But if they leave, you just get someone else. That becomes an asset which takes away vulnerability. So that segues well to away from.
Cool. So now we move to the other side, so away from motivators. So a couple ways you can think about this thing. You can think in terms of time. So what are they moving away from that they've already experienced? What are they moving away from that they're currently experiencing? And what are they avoiding in the future if they do not fix this? So looking through that lens, what are the first three things that come to mind when I say, what are they moving away from?
They're moving away from guessing.
Cool. Can you be specific?
They're moving away from paying someone to guess for them that doesn't know them as well as they do themselves.
So the way I interpreted that was they're moving away from spinning their wheels. Yeah. That's one that actually comes up a lot with like our With You members, especially like men's online fitness coaches. Like I've been going to the gym for fucking 5 years and I'm still 30% body fat. So that's one idea. We'll unpack that obviously like we did. What's another separate idea to that?
They're moving away from trying to produce content that doesn't resonate with their audience.
Cool. So I think that's still the same as spinning their wheels. You can also look at like just the opposite of these.
So the opposite of camera confidence would be anxiety. Anxiety being on screen.
Yep. Camera
anxiety.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. And what's the opposite of more organic leads? It would just be like increased ad spend.
Yeah. Increased ad spend increased ad spend.
Or even unpacking that one, more like a dependence on ad spend.
Yeah. I'm going to also put in there, because this is one I get a lot of, word of mouth.
Yep, word of mouth, referrals, like that whole bucket. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, let's start at spinning the wheels. So go through the same process. Why or then what?
So they're spinning the wheels. Why? Because they don't know what to do. They
don't know what they don't know.
They don't know what they don't know. They're absolutely just guessing, and they're guessing in the wrong way, and it becomes frustrating, and they give up, and then they realize they've plateaued, or they're getting less revenue than ever before.
Sure.
And then what? They feel like their business is failing. Camera anxiety, they Why do they have camera anxiety?
Well,
Because
let's do spinning. So just write some of those points down.
so spinning the wheels, they are not doing enough / correctly.
And when they do that, then what happens?
Then what happens is,
They waste time,
yeah,
waste
no
effort.
new traffic, and that is wasted time. And then what happens is plateau, business.
Camera anxiety.
Camera anxiety,
Why does that happen?
it happens because they don't know what to say or how to say what they're trying to say.
Could you, so one of the things I mentioned over here was like a specific example. So we've got like stuttering on camera. You can kind of repeat that over there. But it would look like waste, like it takes fucking 1 hour to film 1
Other
minute.
words, time to create is too high, too long.
Yep.
Another example is fear of judgment. Yeah, fear of judgment. Then what happens? Well, because they fear of judgment, they don't even bother.
Yeah,
And
so it's
then-
just inaction.
Yeah, inaction.
Yep. So do inaction, and then obviously you can, then what is very obvious? Nothing.
Inaction.
Yeah, no revenue, no profit, no leads, no sales. And then dependence on ad spend or word of mouth, so just alternatives. You're relying on other people, essentially, is what this is.
Relying on other people.
You're relying on a platform. You're relying on someone to tell someone they know about you. You don't really have control of anything.
Yeah.
Cool. Now, looking at all of that and all of that, is there anything new that springs to mind now that you can make any connections between any of them?
If you don't put content out, your business doesn't grow.
So all of this is linking to like one big idea, which is business growth.
Yeah.
Cool. So now what you can see is, remember how I had that diagram before, which is like the conclusion is business grows with organic content. Now we have multiple different supporting reasons to prop that up, rather than just saying you're not camera confident.
Yeah.
Or camera confident, right? Cool. Now they've probably also tried things in the past to get from A to B. Can you just talk through what some of those previous attempts are?
So previous attempts would be putting out one piece of content and they would get no views and they would just give up.
Yep.
Previous attempts would be trying to ask their current or previous customers to refer them to someone else. It may work for a little bit, but then it starts to plateau. Previous attempts would be to try to boost their crappy organic that gets them more views, but it doesn't lead to sales.
Cool. So write down some of these. So just like different, because what we want to be able to do is remember, so you're constructing a debate. This customer already has preconceived notions, values, beliefs, interpretations of how you do what you do. And they will try and, again, like with the philosophy of categorization, they'll try and put you into a category. And so if you just give them the broad idea of organic content, they will put you in the organic content bucket.
He's a course bro.
Yeah, exactly, right? So that's going to be an interpretation. So we need to address that rather than just kind of ignoring it. So we need to go, what are all their preconceived notions about how they've tried to do this in the past? Because they're going to try and put me in the same bucket. And so we need to address that in the ads, the landing pages, the nurture sequences. So just dot out like things they've tried in the past. You tried binge watching YouTube. You tried, like, are there any other fucking... you can do it anywhere around previous attempts. Doesn't really matter.
So previous attempts, DIY, online learning.
You tried like self-paced courses. You tried talking to ChatGPT. You tried getting a UGC creator.
Yeah, UGC.
You tried getting a receptionist to do it.
Or they would, try an agency. That's the biggest one for sure. They tried an agency and they've burnt 15 grand and they got no leads from it.
Yep.
We can do so much more with 15 grand in a short amount of time by not even donating it to Mark Zuckerberg. But when we do, it's optimized because of the creative, because of all of these.
Yeah, cool.
But yeah, tried agency is the big one.
So sweet. So now, like, we started on an empty whiteboard. Now we've just got like a pretty holistic list of reasons why someone should do your thing and reasons why they should not continue doing the same thing which they're trying to do in the past. Because people are going to, again, psychological resistance. They're just going to revert to their mean. And so we have to display enough reasons so that the cost of inaction outweighs the cost of actually just doing something differently, because you can't keep doing the same thing and do a different result. But we need to communicate all of these. Some people will just need like a few of them. Some people are going to need significantly more.